Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Market Outlook series. I am Kavita Agrawal, the founder of EXP, and we are here to talk in details about Nifty, Bank Nifty, and the other intersector charts. The whole objective is to take an objective look at what price action has already unfolded and say what we can infer about the coming week. Now, if you are an active trader in the market, you know clearly that every week is not the same. Every week is not tradable in the same manner. But in order to plan your week ahead, to control impulsive trading, over trading, it is important to get a sense of what to expect. And of course, the reality of the market is going to be what it's going to be at the end of the day. But it's our work to do the homework. So, as an analyst, as a full time trader, as a service provider, I do this homework anyways for myself every week. So, that's how the Market Outlook series came out, because why not do this homework with everybody together? So let's go towards the chart and we'll start with the discussion of Nifty's 3 minute time frame. So everybody can see my charts. So we'll start off with the 3 minute time frame and we will progress to the largest time frame. Now, this I only do for Nifty because Nifty is something that I observe very regularly. But for any other stock, I will always start my analysis from the largest time frame. So this is a 3 minute time frame of Nifty, and we can see that the market topped out last Thursday around 25,000. That was my target that I've been talking about since the last few weeks. That target got achieved, and we saw a pretty big correction. Let's mute this little bugger. We saw a sharp correction because of global events in the market, around 5% downside. This downside, however, was very well indicated in the charts. We'll discuss about that, but let's also talk about what are we seeing right now. Okay, I'm going to take this rectangle and I want to mark on this 3 minute time frame the point where the Nifty established the real low, basically the point at which the momentum was the most negative. So this actually has something to do with inertia. Now, if you roll a ball, as long as your hand is behind it, or think about a train, as long as the engine is turned on, it's going to keep moving. But even after you turn off the engine, there is going to be some inertia, and because of that inertia, the train is going to keep moving. But that doesn't mean that that is the direction. Typically, what happens when that momentum starts to die out, there is a chance of reversal in the market. So on the 3 minute time frame, what I'm seeing is a real bottom was established on the 5th of August, that is Monday itself. Since then, what we have seen has been some consolidative or sideways movement. Now, why it is important to notice this is because this will help us identify what I like to call a, sorry, not this. Yeah, exactly this one. So I'll draw a vertical line here. So this vertical line, I'm going to color this the same color as my RSI to know that I drew this vertical line on the 3 minute time frame. So what this is showing me is that the RSI has bottomed out exactly on this point. However, the price has gone on to establish lows all the way till here. So this is what we called a positive divergence. Now, positive divergence, what does it mean? That positive can be expected, but this is a 3 minute time frame, very weak time. The effect of the 3 minute time frame lasts for up to 1 to 2 days, which has already been played out in the market. Right? What have we seen so far? So far, we've seen that the price has come back to reach this very faint blue line, which is the 20 EMA of the daily time frame superimposed on the 3 minute time frame, right? 20 EMA of the 1 day time frame is what this is. So this has acted as resistance. And now what are we seeing? Now we are seeing a negative divergence on RSI again. RSI of the 3 minute time frame. So the first support that is already available to the chart, to the stock, or to the index is this real low, which was 24,200. Now, if this low gives away, then I expect a fresh leg of rally to start. But that analysis is actually the result of higher time frame. Let's go to a higher time frame. So now we are at the 15-minute time frame. Now, the 15-minute time frame is showing that the real low that we marked on the 3 minute also coincides with the 15-minute. That is good. And then what do we have here? We have one price low clearly being forged here. Now, this low was tested by the price, but the RSI has forged a positive divergence on the 15-minute time frame as well. So we had one positive divergence on the 3 minute time frame, which took the price high to up to here, 2% in 3 days. Not bad. On the 15-minute also we have positive divergence, but again 15-minute time frames realization also happens not more than 1 to 2 weeks. So what do we expect now? Can we expect a little bit more upside? Can we? I don't know. Let's see. So what are we seeing here? We are seeing a negative divergence was forged. If we are seeing a negative divergence, let's go ahead and also mark what I like to call the real top. What is the real top? The real top is basically the level at which the momentum peaked out. So this is the point at which clearly the momentum peaked out. You can take this entire zone. This is the point at which the momentum peaked out. The price go up to make another high, but that was just the train moving because of inertia. There was no engine behind it. There was no strong momentum behind it, right? So that is what we saw there. So this becomes our resistance. Now, another important level that we should mark here is the base from which this rally began. So I would say that is around maybe this level, maybe around this level. So this level, because it exactly coincides with the level that is already marked, I'm not going to double mark it. So what am I seeing here now? The 15-minute time frame basically showed me very strong momentum up to this point, somewhere over here, up to this point. So let's bring this and mark this high point, but again, this high point also overlaps. So this is a confluence of supports happening over here. Fine. So 15-minute time frame is giving a positive divergence, but I am not yet able to establish a resistance for this. I would, however, consider this high point maybe over here. Why would I consider this? Because the last time this rally that we saw, it peaked out here, then we saw some rollover movement, and then we had this. Also, there is this massive gap right here. So I would say this is an internal resistance around 24,600. Right now, coming to the 75-minute time frame, this is very important. 75-minute time frame, what it is basically showing is a negative divergence again. So we had negative divergences on 15-minute time frame, did we? Yeah, back it started on 26th July. 1st August it played out. 1st August it played out, and this one negative divergence also played out around 1st of August. All right, so this is the point where the real high occurred, which coincides well with what we have already marked on the 15-minute. So this becomes a very important support. And Elliott wave analysis, if you've heard of Elliott wave, the concept over there is 3-step forward, 2 steps. Over here, what we are seeing is that 2 steps back has been achieved. But let's talk about the broader Elliott wave count. So my analysis, what it suggests is, I'll take the Elliott wave tool now and I will start doing some markings. There you go. So this is where the wave started. First new wave started after the correction and consolidation that we witnessed there. And then over here, this was the first leg of correction. Now I am going to ignore this very, very sentimental move that was seen on the election day. And this is my wave 3. Now this wave 3 was corrected, wave 4, and this is a bit of wave 5. So now what I'm expecting is actually a ABC correction in the market. So the ABC, what would it look like? I believe that this was the A. Now the wave B can come up to either this resistance. It might also test that this 24,600 resistance is what I'm looking at. And then another leg. Now wave C, whether it's going to take us to 29,900, 23,900, or is it going to break down further below to maybe 23,100 is something that time will tell. Right now, we don't have that clarity. Why do we not have that clarity? Again, marking this previous real high that we saw, because this is where the momentum topped out. So I'm going to draw a vertical line there. So this is where I'm drawing the vertical line, and I'm going to color this orange just to know which time frame it's based on. So here what I'm seeing was a negative divergence had occurred, but it fizzled out and continued to rally. So one thing about negative divergence is that occurrence is not a guarantee that there will be reversal. The price can also go into continuation from there. So this is the analysis, that some more upside, lots of jittery movements unfolding in the market. What direction the market ultimately takes is going to be very difficult to dictate at this stage. Primarily why? Because the what we are experiencing right now is a correctionary phase. Correct? It's a correctionary phase. Now you're gonna have to excuse me for just a second. All right. So coming to the daily time frame of Nifty, I can see a new rally has definitely begun here because the RSI has sustained significantly above the level of 60 and is now taking a dip. So the daily time frame actually bears a lot of good news for us. The daily time frame is suggesting that the underlying momentum is pretty strong and can be expected. We can expect at least another leg of rally. So from a short-term trading perspective, what is my objective now? What is my next step? As a short term trader who trades basically on the 75-minute time frame in stocks, not an index, my objective is very simple. I am sitting on cash. So my majority of the profits in my account were booked between 29 July to 2nd of August. Why? Because of the negative divergences were starting to pop up. Momentum was clearly starting to weaken. And I could see that the US market was declining. So all of those things were clear cut signals for me to book my profits. So we are now sitting on cash and we are waiting for high risk reward ratio opportunities to pop up in our scanner. Currently, I was okay. We'll now move on to the bank nifty chart and then we'll come down to discuss a few realty sector stocks. All right. So next we will move on to bank nifty and again I will start the analysis from the 3 minute time frame. Let's remove the existing drawings and let's take a very fresh look. So on the 3 minute time frame, again over here, I'm seeing that the real low was established here, and then the RSI did forge a bit of a positive divergence, and then this positive divergence on the 3 minute has clearly also already played out. So this would be my previous peak, but if you see the point, so this real low it was established out of the rally or decline that started from this point. So I'll draw a vertical line here. So basically this day's low or high is basically where it started, no, not this one, correct? So now, if we take this and if we put it there, this becomes a key resistance. But there is a huge gap. Now, one thing about RSI is that it doesn't play well with gaps. So this also technically becomes an important resistance for us because it is a pretty big gap. So now the first resistance I would say has been met. And what is the 3 minute time frame doing now? 3 minute time frame on the bank nifty, it seems like it is in the bull range. Why? Because it is respecting the level of 40 and every time it bounces up, it's also going above the level of 60. So that is the bull range for us. Prior to this, if you saw, it was resisting the level of 60 and upon correction, it was going down to 30 or 30 minus, which was the bear range. So 3 minute time frame is looking a little bit bullish. On the 15-minute time frame, again, there is a positive divergence. But with the positive divergence in place, I would say the RSI here is in a negative range. So it has actually moved in a negative range. And until and unless the 15-minute RSI doesn't establish itself above the level of 60, basically, if it enters this zone, believe it will give a 1% rally easily. So Bank Nifty, the existing resistance 50,000 or 50,700 is actually pretty strong. 50,800 is pretty strong. If this is breached, then we would expect 51,300 to be the next resistance for Bank Nifty. Coming to the 75-minute time frame, again, there was a very potent negative divergence forged out of this real high on the 75-minute time frame, right? This was just inertia high that was established. And then if we look at what the base was, so this was the base, so this was the first support which has been achieved. And then second support was obviously this one. This second support has also been achieved. So it looks like the bank nifty has also given a pretty good correction. But then if we have to take a Elliott wave count, I've not done the Elliott wave count on bank nifty, so I'm not going to comment on that right now. But internally, what we can see is that the bank nifty seems like it has taken a pretty sharp correction over the last month. And the last entire month, I've been telling you that banks don't look attractive. Banks don't look attractive. And if you look at banks parallelly, they have not given very strong upside. I talking about banks and HDFC Bank credit card is calling me. But anyway, so moving forward with this, let's go to the daily time frame. Now, the daily time frame is showing a massive negative divergence. And what is this suggesting? That the real peak was established somewhere over here. So this is a bit of a negative because what I have seen is that when a real peak is established, the strong momentum again begins out of that real, after that real peak is tested. And this is for stocks or indices which have a momentum tendency like Bank Nifty does. So I would expect this resistance over here, if the market has some upside left, I would expect this gap to get filled. So 51,300 resistance. But I would expect Bank Nifty to come back and retest the level of around 49,000 as the support. So that's Bank Nifty. Now let's move on to our index chart. So now we'll move on to the intersector index chart and let's remove a little bit of drawings that are there. So this was Friday and today is again Friday, right? So let's take a look at what has happened in this entire week. So from Monday, basically, the opening of Monday. So CNX realty sector seems to have come back to the top, but the question is it going to continue to stay in the top or not? So let's open the chart of CNX realty. Now, what I'm seeing on the realty stock sector index is a massive negative divergence. Now, this massive negative divergence that I'm talking about had a proper high momentum peak forged at around 890 rupees. This entire thing is basically, you can say in a way, a rolling ball. I don't think it has a lot of strength. Also, looking back, I can see a five-wave structure already complete. So I am expecting the realty sector to give a little bit more downside. You might see some temporary upside, but I would suggest to stay careful and don't get sucked into reality stocks. I would like to back up this observation on the basis of some example stocks like Prestige. So, Prestige is one of the stocks where we actively trade. But here also, if you see a massive negative divergence has appeared, and my expectation is that this stock should be allowed to go down, take correction before fresh positions are maintained. And my target is around 1200. So I'm waiting for the stock to come down to around 1200 levels before it is ready for us to take fresh positions in again. The next in line has been auto and then the pharma and healthcare. So I think the momentum in the auto sector or the pharma and the healthcare sector continues to remain pretty strong. And why do I think that? If you look at the individual stocks of auto, for example, let's take Tata Motors. What you will notice on the Tata Motors stock is that daily time frame is a very strong bull trend, has taken a correction, come to test the level of 40 on the daily RSI, which is the bullish range support zone, and established a new high again. It has established a new high and it has come back to retest the previous high, which was around the level of 1035. I think this rally is going to continue. Expectation is that it can, from this point of time, give around 20% upside easily. Next is the pharma and the healthcare sector. So I think the underlying rally over there is very strong. That is a given. But you want to be careful in making fresh positions. The sector also, I think, has established a very strong rally. We've been trading in IT stocks very regularly in the past few weeks, I would say. It has yielded amazing results. Now, personally, I think it's good time to start entering stocks. Let's take a look at Infosys and see if it's giving us similar signals. I think is Infosys has established a low around 1720, right? It has established a strong rally and has very good momentum going as per weekly, daily, 75, all time frames looking very good. 15-minute time frame is actually extremely negative, but I would say that there is not a proper positive divergence here. So stock wise, I think IT sector can be a little bit more if you want to buy, accumulate small positions, not large positions at stage, because it's still got the tail end of the correction remaining in it. Next, let's talk about the FMCG sector. FMCG sector has been extremely volatile lately, and I personally don't find the FMCG sector very attractive to potentially trade in. The reason is that the high momentum peak is already behind. This is what I call the rolling ball or just the inertia movement that's it up. But from a trendline analysis perspective, also I think the FMCG sector has topped out, and I am not very bullish about FMCG from a short term perspective. So I wouldn't be making any bets in that sector anytime soon. I move this. So we've discussed. Other than that, the energy sector continues to look pretty good, but Infra. If you look at the CNX Infra chart, I am not very convinced about the momentum with which it is moving forward. So I would say this is where the momentum actually topped out. But even after that, we can see a lot of upside. So it didn't actually top out. The momentum slowed down till here and then it picked up again. And then this is where it basically topped out. This it did pick up again, and this is where it truly topped out. But then again, infra has also come back to retest that level. The question is it going to continue to go up? Honestly, on the infra charts, I'm seeing a lot of mixed signals. So it's not giving me a lot of clarity. And when it comes to committing money in the market and taking trades, I prefer to go with stocks or sectors where the clarity level is higher. So infra, it is possible that it can continue to consolidate for a while. But from a stock specific perspective, also, I would at least to see it sustain above the level of 9300, 9400, actually 9400 before on the index. I would like to see it sustain above the level of 9400 before I make up my mind. And even on the stock specific, if you go stock specific also, I am waiting for more clarity to commit capital. But infra now is not my top picks. All right. So with that, I have come to the end of the discussion which I had planned for you. Now we will turn to the questions which are being asked by our Zoom members. So our Zoom attendees, if you have questions, please raise your hand. We'll prioritize your questions. In the meanwhile, the social media platform attendees, if you have questions, please make sure that you fill up the stock request form. Link has already been shared in the comment with you. Now, as a SEBI registered research analyst, I need to keep record of all stocks that I talk about on public platforms. So if you want me to look at stocks of your choice or stocks that you're holding, please make sure that you fill the stock request form. Let me open the chat. So Zoom attendees, please raise your hand if you have any questions. I will open the stock request form in the meanwhile. So while you come up with questions, I want to tell you about my Telegram channel and also invite you to join the same. So this is my Trade with Kavita channel. The name of the channel is Trade with Kavita. So you can just go on Telegram and write Trade with Kavita. Now beware, lots of fake channels will pop up. You don't want to join those fake channels because they will take you into stuff like options, futures, cryptos, so on and so forth. I don't deal in those things. In my channel, you will see information about my webinars twice a week. You will see my daily market comments where I basically guide you. Sometimes I also post warnings about various stocks that I'm seeing clear negative signals build up, right? You will see daily quizzes which can help you build up your knowledge. You will also sometimes come across offers. Like right now, I have a 15% discount going on my Trade Together program, on my long term investment plan. You can use the code new launch 15. All of this information is present in my Telegram channel. Now, if you want to connect with me, if you want to have a chat with me about what is right for you, what you should do, you can again join my Telegram channel and use this link, expinvest.in/booking, and book a quick call with me, and we can discuss the next best foot forward for you. So Mohit is asking for the analysis of the stock Astral. So let me open Astral and let's take a look. So Astral, I think, is in a pretty strong downtrend, short term, right? But from the long term perspective on the daily time frame, I am seeing that the stock is currently in a very strong bull trend, is in a strong bull range shift, right? Positive range shift, which suggests that the stock has more steam to go in with. And this is actually a very strong support zone, something that the stock has almost come down to. Also, trendline perspective wise, there is a strong trendline support right here, which also the stock has tested. But taking a look at the minute time frame, I can see on the 75-minute time frame, a small positive divergence has started to build up, but not been confirmed. I would like to see the stock close and sustain above the level of 2140. I would call it a go ahead. I would give it a go ahead. So yeah, so this would also, if I clone my trend line and place that, this would be a strong resistance zone. So that is what my recommendation to you would be, that this stock needs to sustain above the level of around say 2150-ish to round it off to be called a strong candidate for the next leg of rally. So Akhil wants the analysis of. Let's take a look at Sharda Motor Industries Limited. I think it's Industries Limited. Interesting. So I can see the underlying trend was definitely 100% super strong here. So this was the true high, and the base of this high was actually around here, and the stock is in no mood to give a correction all the way down there. Now on the 75-minute time frame, if you see, the 75-minute time frame's true peak was actually this one, which has played out, and the base of this peak was here. So what this basically, why I'm doing this time frame analysis is to determine which time frame is the stock's price activity adhering to the most. So what I'm seeing, the stock is adhering to the 75 minutes time frame analysis better. Why? Because a negative divergence occurred here, a small negative divergence, and the stock corrected right to the base of the first of the real high, which was around here. And now it has started to turn up. So considering that the RSI has broken above its previous high, even the price has not, I think the momentum pickup is very evident here. So what I would do is I would consider this as the beginning of a new rally, and I would keep a small stop loss right below this. Give it a little bit of buffer, 2135. And now for the target, what would my target be? So I would take the Fibonacci projection tool, and from the base of the previous rally all the way to the price peak, I would draw a projection. Now I would expect, given the strong rally, I would expect at least this rally itself to get duplicated. So my first conservative target on the stock from short term perspective would be 3166. And if we talk about the risk reward ratio, it is, I don't think, very favorable right now. So in order to purchase or build position, I would use GTT orders within this buying range. So this entire zone between my two supports becomes my buying range for the stock. So that's Sharda Motors for you. So what I will do is, to follow up on this analysis, I will set up a vertical line with an alert and a message. Okay, assess this. So Pooja is asking for the analysis power. So what I can see on HBL Power, again, very extremely strong trend was unfolding. This was the real high of the stock. And see how beautifully the stock has come to retest or give us entry opportunities near the real high before establishing a new trend. So this is definitely the beginning of a new trend. I wouldn't draw a negative divergence like that. I would draw it like that. Why? Because this negative divergence has been realized, and this is the starting of a new cycle, all new cycle. So here I need to also draw my trend lines on HBL Power. So the trend lines I can see are already drawn and they look pretty good. This is a lane that the power stock is following. Now, considering that the stock is trying to give a breakout, I need to establish the next resistance trend line. That would be the next resistance trend line. So HBL Power seems to have completed the correction, and from Elliott wave count perspective, I would consider this as the ABC correction, and this looks like the beginning of a fresh new leg of rally. Let's also take a look at the volume. The volume absolutely concurs with my analysis. Why am I saying that? Because ever since this bottom got breached, we are seeing good pickup in the volumes on the upsides. So I think wave 5 is yet to be forged. And on this 75-minute time frame, the real peak was this one. So around this is basically your entry zone. So the stock is currently within the entry zone, I would say. And as for my target, I would take this entire zone and apply the Elliott wave projection. Now, because this is the beginning of a fresh rally, my expectation is that the rally can continue to at least 1.68 times of the most recent rally that we have seen. So 870. Now, why would I also think that it's a realistic target for the stock? Because it also coincides with the trend line. You can also take this level if you want to be more conservative. And where would my stop loss be? My stop loss would be right below this previous peaks. Actually, that's, I think, a little bit too broad, because if the stock reaches this internal low, then basically that would be a bit of a structure breakdown. But again, little bit of risk that if a strong whiplash comes because of a sudden negative news wave, it may get triggered, but it's fine. It's always prudent to re-enter stocks if that is happening, or at least that's what I believe in. So this is basically the analysis for HBL Power for you. So we'll move on to the next query from Sanjay G. He's asking for the analysis of HAL, and he's entered at 3982. Should he exit? He thinks there might be further correction in the stock. So 3982, let's put that level 2 on the chart. All right. So your position is in profit, but clearly you are experiencing a bit of a FOMO. And what I am seeing is that the stock actually had a peak. So this real peak has been tested and has been broken. And the RSI, unfortunately, seems to have moved into a bit of a bear range, is what I am seeing. The RSI on the 75-minute time frame is moving into the bear range as we speak. But let's take a look at the daily time frame. All right, so daily time frame is still bullish, not as bullish as it was during the uptrend. So clearly the stock is in correction, but I think this stock is better assessed on the daily chart than on the 75-minute chart, because the price structure is way clearer on the daily chart than it is on the 75-minute. So this was the previous real peak, right? Stock went up. If I just adjust this a little bit better, it almost pulled back entirely and then continued to rally upward. Now we are seeing that it has broken this level. So I would expect one more leg of downside. So on HAL, let's see. So 15-minute is clearly in bear range. I don't think HL has strong momentum unfolding right now. I think it's in correction. My expectation is that it can retest 3.8, which is basically it can come back to your buying range. So essentially, when you saw these massive negative divergences unfolding on the stock, that was the point of time when you should have booked your profits. But even now, if you do book your profits, I think that would be a prudent call for you. All right, so now we will move on to the stock request form. So for the members who have joined us on other platforms, if you've filled in the stock request form, we'll be looking at your requests. Perfect. So we can see the fastest finger first was Manoj. Okay, Inox India. Inox India, and your average cost price on the stock is what? Your average cost price is 1300. And what message do you bring me? So you're saying that the quarter one results were pretty bad. For short term trading, I honestly believe that quarter results don't do a very good job of giving you a fair picture. So Inox India, since it doesn't have a lot of price data on the daily, let's move to the 75-minute time frame. And I can see that it is creating a bit of a consolidation, taking strong resistance around the same zone again and again. The question is, where is the support for this stock? Where is the support? I honestly, I don't see any reason why I would be very excited to go long on the stock. First of all, this decline that you've seen today, even this previous decline, have high volume participations. So from, at least from a short term perspective, stock seems to be catching momentum on the downside, right? And even this rally that you saw here, I wouldn't call that an Elliott wave count, but this rally that you saw topped out at the same level. Let it come to maybe 1,000 and let it give a positive signal. Right now, there's no positive signal which would make me want to buy the stock. So even though it's a bit of a, I would say, a negative skew, it does not have any positive signal. So that's my analysis for you. So Mohit is again asking for Bajaj Finance. Do you see a potential entry? I don't, if I recall correctly, I don't think so. But let's just look at it fresh lens. Bajaj Finance. Absolutely not. The 7-minute time frame is in a negative range. However, there is also a tiny little positive divergence. So this was the true bottom here, the true bottom. Now, this true bottom has been tested by price, but the RSI is starting to move up, which means the momentum or the relative strength on the downside is weakening. Now, interesting observation on the daily time frame that despite of all the weakness and the correctionary activity, the bull range is still being maintained pretty intact. And I can see this is where the stock established the real high. This was more of a rollover or just an inertia high. I need to come up with a better name for that. And since then, the stock has been in pretty strong correction. Now, if I go back, and what am I seeing around here? I am seeing around here that the stock on the 75-minute time frame did sustain, but it was still in the negative range. Now, if I go a little bit back to when the momentum was, so Bajaj Finance has been in sideways consolidation for quite a while. Quite a while. So here also it did establish it established a high here on the daily. It established a pretty strong high, and then the next high also occurred within the same zone. So this has become like a very strong resistance zone. Why is this taking strong resistance? I am not seeing a very strong momentum in Bajaj Finance right now. And the weekly, the daily, both of these charts are indicating some dying out in terms of momentum. And the 75-minute is also not very clear cut. It's giving me lots of mixed signals. I don't prefer to trade stocks which look like this. So I think I will refrain from participating in Bajaj Finance at this point of time. Symphony, nice. I love this stock. Let's go and take a look at Symphony. So this request is coming on Zoom from Rajat. Symphony at, should I exit? Nice. So you've purchased Symphony at 1080, which is a pretty good entry, almost at the previous peak, which is a very good predictive entry, I would say. And now the stock has given a massive rally of 60%, right? It has given a massive rally of 60%. Instead of exiting the stock, I would suggest you maintain a stop loss. So the stock has forged a base here. So you can use maybe the level of around 1542, 1540 to basically this peak you can use as support, right, to continue to hold on, because the underlying momentum is very strong and so is the volume pickup. So I would definitely expect more upside, but then also you don't want to suffocate the stock. The stock has completed 2x of the rally from the previous upside, and you can expect at least another maybe 27% extension here. So your next resistance that you should look out would be 87 for Symphony. Let's take a look at Tata Steel from Mrityunjay, who has joined us on Facebook. So I can see positive range shift on the so positive range is what is unfolding on the daily chart. And here the rally has had strong momentum. Even though there's a small negative divergence, I won't really consider that as anything painful. So I think the rally was backed by pretty strong momentum up to here. So this was my real peak. This was more of a exhausted peak. And last month I was also saying that metal stocks, while the underlying trend is strong, is going through some correction. Now it has come back to read this blue line, which is the 250 EMA. And what are we seeing here? Let's see on the 7-minute time frame. It looks like the volume pickup on the downside is still pretty strong, and the 75-minute time frame is also breaching the level of 30 regularly. So I think maybe a little bit more downside, or even if a downside doesn't come, in order to take fresh position, you do need to wait for some confirmation or better chart structure. So I think 159, 160 is the level that I will wait. So I've set in a lot of higher high there. Once that gets triggered, I will come back to assess whether the stock is looking good for me to make a fresh entry in this or not. And from 75-minute time frame analysis, this was a real peak on the stock. Even this was a real peak on the stock. Lots of momentum movements. Then this was a divergence. Since then, two-step back has been completed, but the stock needs to establish a better structure for me to be willing to commit my capital. Right now that structure is lacking. 15-minute time frame is also suggesting it's not outright bullish, so we'll wait for Tata Steel to become a little bit more clear before indicating any upside activity. All right, so Pooja on Zoom, she's one of our registered members. She's asking for the analysis of India. NLC, wait. Why am I seeing crisscrossing trend lines? See India. What am I seeing here? The momentum peaked out there, and now the price has come back to retest that. The underlying momentum is still pretty strong on the stock, has been very strong. I would ignore this tiny little bump. The momentum has been pretty strong since May 2020 and continues to remain strong. In fact, the fact that the price has sustained this real high support level of around 256 is, in my eyes, a strong positive. Also, if you look at the volume activity, it was very supportive of the upside all the way to the last peak that has been seen on the 75-minute time frame, the last real peak, which means that the underlying momentum is still super strong, and this could potentially be a good upside, good entry for at least retest of the same old high. So a stop loss at the level of 241 and a target at the level of around 306 would be a good trade setup for now. As the stock goes above 278, of course, we can revise the target. So NLC India looks pretty good. So what I will do is I will set a vertical alert here for Monday for me to assess. Thanks, Pooja. This was a very good stock query. Let's move on to the next question asked by Gaurav, who has joined us on YouTube. And Gaurav wants to know about delivery. You've just added this position, and sure, so you want my point of view on delivery. So you've added this position today at around, and what am I seeing on delivery? I am seeing that it is trying to establish an uptrend and within the uptrend trajectory that it is currently following, it has come to retest the lowest support line and bounced back up. So the RSI is already established higher highs, higher lows, which is good, which is very good. And here from this low to this point, if I see, so this is basically, or let me take this actually, from this low to this, I would not call this a positive divergence actually, because this is the real bottom of the stock and the price has not come back to that. But it did come back to test it, and it has established in that process a higher low and a higher high. A higher low because this low is higher than this low, and a higher high because this high is already higher than this. Higher low, higher high has been established. So now I think for you, the stop loss will have to be below this low. Basically, this higher high, higher low structure gets broken. So 366 is the stop loss that you should look out for. But if you glance at the volume pickup on the upside was pretty strong. So that is pretty encouraging, which means that the pullback we are experiencing is good. And if you take into consideration this previous peak, this was a good entry point. So you've already gotten a better entry than that. This entire zone actually is a good buying zone. This entire 4% is a good buying zone. 366 is a potential stop loss. And from the target perspective, I think you can expect the stock to at least go back and retest this previous around. So 437. That's a conservative target. A liberal target on the stock would be all the way up to the resistant trend line, which is 500. So guys, if you are interested in learning technical analysis and swing trading from me, if you want to learn about this terminologies that I'm talking about, RSI range shift, RSI divergence, or if you are interested in learning about these price structures and Elliott wave and just have a mentor who can be a sounding board, I would suggest you go onto my website and you check out my advanced swing trade training program. So we do repetitive batches. One is ongoing right now, and these are all rolling class recordings are also available. So join in, and I think I'll be able to, if you're interested in learning from me, that is basically what you should do. So let's move on to the next question. So delivery, again, very good stock query, Gaurav. Thank you for asking. So we have another stock query. Oh, okay. Let me just make some markings here. All right. So we've answered Tata Steel, India, and we've answered this one. Let's move on to Rohit's stock query of JK Paper. So Rohit is also with us on YouTube. You're asking whether JK Paper has tested the previous resistance or not. Let's check it out. So 75-minute time frame is already showing a negative divergence I had marked. This was the real high, which has already been breached, which shows discontinuation of momentum, something that I don't like a lot. And clearly, this is the beginning of a new strong bull trend. Why would I say that? Because on the RSI of the daily, new peak has been established, which is good. Now, with respect to the previous rally that was unfolding, right? With respect to the previous rally, I can see the real peak established was this level, which is already marked, but let's mark it again. So this actually, clearly what I'm seeing is that JK Paper adheres better to the analysis of the daily time frame than the 75-minute time frame. So this was the previous real peak. And now the momentum is very strong. The stock has given a breakout, has established a strong peak with strong volumes and given a pullback. Now, this pullback has ended at the confluence of three support zones. One is the trendline support. Let me make this thicker so you can get a better view. Second is this previous high. And the third is this green line, which is the 100 EMA of the daily time frame. So this basically becomes a very good re-entry zone. So your question that has JK Paper retested its prior, I think you meant support. Yes, it has retested its previous support and is looking very attractive. So a good stop loss to maintain would be 400. Another thing is that the price decline saw absent volumes, which is good. So we can expect this rally to continue. And like I said, this is like a very new rally, correct? Very new rally, which basically started from this point and has caught up fresh momentum right now. So if this entire movement is used to project, I would expect at least the previous high to get retested. So this 0.618, even if it's a truncated, I would expect 652 to get retested. So obviously we can see the risk reward ratio is already very attractive. So go for it. JK paper looks extremely attractive. And see, the whole purpose of doing the analysis is to give you a very strong sense of where support, resistance, and all that lie. How to do price structure analysis, how to look at stocks, study volumes, and get a very holistic picture of a stock before you go ahead and do your entry. And so that's for you, Rohit. So we will take one more stock query. Let's take a look at the stock Bsoft for Satvik. He wants to know whether he should book profits or losses or average on the trend line support. Should he book loss or average? Fine, let's take a look at Bsoft. I like the stock. I like the stock, but let's see what it's doing. Sharp decline, but again, the sharp decline is not a surprise at all. From a long term perspective, I am an accumulator in the stock. I like the stock. And I think this is where the peak was established per the daily time frame. Since then, it did give one rolling peak, but then it's also been in strong decline. Now, if you look at the weekly time frame, sorry about so many rectangles. I was just doing some high level analysis. I'm going to clean up the chart a little bit so you can get a less confusing view. There you go. Now, if you look at the broader time frame, the broader price activity, what you will see, the stock has a tendency to give massive rallies and massive corrections. By massive corrections, 50-60% corrections, and by massive rallies, 10x rallies in maybe 2 years. Soft, in my opinion, is a stock that's more suitable for long term trading than short term trading. And this was the peak established as per the weekly time frame, right? And this stock honestly is best analyzed on the weekly time frame, not on the daily or the 75-minute time frame. So the peak before this peak that was established was, I would say, somewhere over here. I would take it instead of taking the previous ones because it still had the RSI way above the level of 68, 78, right? 78 level can only be maintained if the momentum is extremely strong. And now what I'm seeing is that the stock has come back down to test that previous high. I think from a long term perspective, if you want to buy a stock which is like a super trender, now is a time for you to get into Bsoft. But remember, not from short term perspective, from long term perspective, because this is not a stock that you want to essentially trade in for the short term. My minimum target on the stock would be the trend line resistance, which is around 990 rupees. Now we have some members joining us on live as well, and I can see we have a question on Vedant Limited from Sonali Mehrotra. You want a long-term analysis for? Let's open up the chart of Vedanta. So again, I am personally not a big fan of this company. I find the corporate governance not something that I want to rely on. I like to see the management have higher level of integrity than what is displayed by this particular company. This stock is not part of my watch list. And also on the weekly time frame, if you see, it's been not trending for a long time now. Plus the RSI activity is not something that I want to trust. This doesn't show a trend, it's sideways, makes me uncomfortable. Now, right now, I think the stock is close to its resistance. My recommendation is definitely to be very careful and not participate in the stock, because between this peak and between this high on RSI and this price high, if you see, there is a strong negative divergence. So I would expect Vedanta to take a beating here. And the minimum support that I'm looking at is 353, which from current price is around 15% down. And it can also go as low as 275 or even 200. And if you follow the structure which it has been establishing for some time now, it basically takes a test at around 480, 490, and then goes all the way back to 63 rupees. So 6 rallies and 88% decline. That has been the mode of operation in the stock. And right now, this negative divergence at the top is not making a strong investment case whatsoever. Also, the volume participation on the upside has been very patchy. Another red flag. All right. So that is for you, Sonali. Now, guys, if you're finding the analysis that I'm doing for you useful, or the detailed technical nuances that I'm sharing with you meaningful, please do join my Telegram channel. Give it a like to this. In the comments, also input your feedback. It really makes my day to read what you have to say about the analysis and how you think it impacts you. So I would request you to please take some time and note down your comments before you leave. Also, if you want to assess, if you want to take a look at my past videos where I've talked about RSI, where I've talked about trend lines, volume, so on and so forth, do check out my YouTube channel. You can search Kavita Agrawal CMT CFA and my YouTube channel will pop up for you right away. Perfect. Let's have a request from Vicky for NMDC, and Vicky has joined us on Meta. NMDC. Let's take a look at NMDC. So should I hold and wait for reversal or should I sell? Should you wait, hold for reversal? Should you sell? So I can see that this is where on the daily chart the real peak was established. Let's redraw the trend lines on NMDC. Let's make this full screen and Alt T, and I can see that this is like a really strong trajectory. And I think NMDC has taken very strong resistance already, and it is starting to show negative divergence on the weekly charts, which is not making me comfortable at all. What about the volume? So if I look at the volume has already subsided. The last leg of the rally did not see volume participation whatsoever. And I think this has already been removed. Even the daily time frame is showing a negative divergence, which is basically to say that the strong momentum which you probably want to capture is already over. 75-minute charts, again, 75-minute is not a very good chart to look at for the stock. The lowest you want to come is the daily time frame, because if you go down to as low as 75, it's just too noisy. It's just too noisy. It doesn't really help you assess the price structure properly, right? So this, I would say, I would want to see the stock retest at least 190 and then maybe take a stock of what can happen. But if I were to look at this upward trending trend line, I would expect the stock to come and retest this lower trend line, basically retest this zone around 130 rupees. That is where I would want to enter for another upswing. Right now, I don't think this stock is a good fresh entry candidate for you. I can see there is a request from Pankaj on ET Live. He's asking for the analysis of PFC. So, Pankaj, I want to tell you that on PFC, we did a very detailed analysis just the previous session. So, you want to go to my YouTube channel and you want to check out the edited video for your, you can also look at the live sessions. A lot of other stocks which have been asked, but unfortunately, we've exceeded time for this session. So before we get thrown out, it's better if I end the session right away. Other stock queries like Kalyan Jewelers, Tata Motors, we already addressed at the beginning of the session. So, George, I will request that you view the starting part of the session where I talked about Tata Motor. LICI was discussed stray in the last session. So, again, hop over to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the analysis of LIC. You can do a quick search. So whenever I cover a stock, the information is also mentioned in the description, or at least I try to do that. You'll be able to see a search result on my channel if you search the stock of your choice. So with that, I will wrap today's session. Thank you so much for joining in. I will see you again live on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Wednesday at 5 p.m. in my Let's Get Technical series. Until then, make you have stop losses set on your. Don't be very aggressive to buy stocks because this correction might have a little bit more downside to witness. This upside is just a breather from the correction. So sit on cash, be patient, and use this time to do some past trade analysis and try to identify areas of behaviors that you can improve in your own trading. Trust me, that little bit of time investment will go a long way in your journey to become a successful swing trader in the market. So I'll be signing out now. Thank you for being a great audience.